Here we are going live again, expanding to the Gary Ray playlist. Gary, welcome back again.
I'm so glad to be here, Chris. Thank you so much.
So, as we go, how did we get here? The origin story, if you will, or taking it back to the beginning. There I am looking around on Reddit, being the one trick pony that I am. I'm seeing your art picture postings on Reddit and liking them. I say, hey, would you be willing to come on the show? You say back to me,
Heck yeah.
heck yeah. So then we did one show, we did two shows. Then the third show, then I'm learning besides your 2D art, of your 3D art, of your musical art, and then of your cinematography art. Hence the Creep, a production from the year 2001. So we're here today to do backstory on the independent horror motion picture of The Creep.
Should be fun.
All right, Gary. So this is the DVD cover box. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And again, there's noteworthy that, and we're not misrepresenting anything in the intro and then in the outro. So not through the main course of the film, not through the majority of the film, but only in the very beginning and only in the very end. Here comes Forrest J. Ackerman, and so that's I see the little circle of Forey. I don't feel I knew him well enough to call him Forey, but I've heard you call him Forey.
Oh, no, that's his name, Forey.
All right. Then maybe I just need to get over it and call the man Forey.
You can definitely say Forey.
All right.
He would prefer that.
Where do you want to start the tale? Which piece of the production of the backstory of the movie do we want to begin with tonight?
Okay. I wanted to make a movie around 2000. Actually, when I was living in Los Angeles, I wrote two scripts, Things from Mars and Atomic Frankenstein. And believe it or not, I was in contact with somebody that was part of Hollywood, and some famous producer, a woman, we were going to do it. And then at the last minute, they crashed it. But those were going to be produced in Hollywood as retro movies, kind of to look like 50s movies, double feature. Anyway, it didn't happen. So I decided I'm going to write a script that we could produce if we had to. If we can't have Hollywood. And then through a series of events, I ended up in Bakersfield with my pal. And he had told me, this is so funny, that he had a dream where his hair was all down and he was playing like a hood on TV or something. And the title came on. This was a dream. The title came on and said, The Creep. And he's all like, and that's where I got the idea. I just said, that is so funny. So what I did is I wrote down every disgusting thing that I could think of that a person could do that was on the outside of society.
Okay.
And that's where it came from.
All right. So now this friend who had the dream, that's your co-writer, Daryl, or that's somebody else?
Yeah, Daryl Drager. Yes, okay. Correct. And we've been buddies since 1959. We've been best friends, if you can believe that. He's not as creative as me, but he's my sounding board. It doesn't have to be with, it was just me and him talking about, okay, do this, do that. He was like my mentor as far as extra little things about it. So that's pretty funny in itself. And then you can go to the next picture and I'll talk about Rod.
All right. Well, actually, I wanted to show I kind of did a repeat here just to show from this size and then just see it a little bit bigger, like it's coming at you. But okay, moving on as you're saying. Okay, so this is The Creep, and who played the Creep, and how did you get him connected to the movie?
That's my high school friend that had acting training, but at first he did not want to do it. And this reason is so crazy, you won't believe it. he was working at a mental hospital, and he was one of the top guys there. And he just thought, I can't do this. I can't be making fun of these people. And then finally, we just told him, look, man, this is just a movie. Come on, please. And so he ended up doing it, and we had oh man, did we have fun making that movie. But my little director was really slow, and it took us a year to film it. Or 6 months at least. I mean, they were actually living in LA at the time, and they had to come on the weekends, and it was a weekend project.
A weekend project, a labor of love, a passion project. So is this a wig that he's wearing?
Yes.
Okay. And then the sunglasses, I would assume, didn't come from a high-end sunglasses spot.
Oh no. We had to step on it and get everything dirty first.
Speaking of getting things dirty, I remember from my viewing, so the character, the creep, was putting sand or dirt in his pockets. How did that come to be part of his character?
I can't explain why the dirt was there, but he had just got busted by a cop and got away, and then the cop finds out that he should have picked him up. But the cop told him that you stink, go take a bath, go take a shower. And the dirt, that was a dirt bath. He was just showing him,
So he was
bathing in dirt.
His way of complying with the officer of the law.
Correct. Okay, and you can see here, I deleted the picture of him actually coming out of the hole, but he lives in a hole in the ground, out in the alkali. Oh my God. We were out there digging holes and covering, and oh my God. We had to make it realistic. But you can see he's all dressed in black. That was number one. He only comes out at night. And part of his MO is that you can identify him because he stinks.
And right,
Like I said, I put all the most horrible things people can be. He was part of all that.
It's like the smell is palpable, that it comes off of the screen.
It comes up a couple of times. I think in the next couple of photos, I can tell a stink story. Go ahead and.
All right, it's got a lizard here. Is it?
Okay, this is. Okay, I had to. Okay, kids can watch this movie, but. I had to do a couple of dirty things, and I'm the biggest animal lover in the world, but this dog he's roaming around the alleys, and this dog keeps barking at him, and he pulls out this dead lizard, and he's telling the dog's barking at him, and goes, oh, here's my friend, and then as he's holding it, he picks up a brick and then hits the dog with a brick.
Which you did off camera for the actual contact.
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't want to, but I did it.
Right. And that's what it was. Again, he's a pushing the envelope kind of guy, but this was, to be clear for people who haven't seen the movie, nothing was taken to the extreme. Like, this is not hardcore gore.
That is the worst thing that happens is, I don't care if he kills people, but killing animals, man, I got a problem with that. But I had to do it for the story.
Yeah. Right. Within the story, within the script, yes, he does strike the dog, but then it was, again, shot in such a way that there was an actual physical contact necessary.
Yeah, right. And you got to keep in mind, too, this is actually a comedy. It actually is, but it's not parody, and that's what's so great about it. It's straight ahead, like it's really happening, but the humor is kind of a natural humor, and it's not anything that we're trying to make a joke here. Just he's funny to watch.
He's funny to watch, and again, the movie, the runtime is approximately 60 minutes, give or take.
Right on the nose, I believe. But because we were making retro movies. I didn't realize at the time, because then we did Silver Angel, and they're the perfect double feature because you get 2 movies in 2 hours. It's delicious.
Delicious it is. All right, let's take a look at what's next. So this is victim. I was saying victim sets because sometimes it's a singular victim, sometimes it's a small group or a couple of victims all at once. So this is victim set number one, right? His first set of victims.
Right. Okay. Now, it's really interesting about this pair right here because they're on a date. I got to get this off of here. I finally got my reading glasses so I can read now. So I ran an ad. That's how this whole movie happened. And I happened to get the Del Rio's family involved. The dad, Charlie, he was like, excuse me, almost more important than the director is. I'm sorry, had a mucus problem lately. Give me one second.
Sure.
And it just happens out of nowhere. Anyway, I ran an ad, and his dad answered it. And Mark had just got out of college and was a film major. Now, his girlfriend, this is the most interesting part of it. His girlfriend, Karen Chow, they're married and have kids now. But they weren't married when we started the movie. And I'll show a picture of her later. She worked for Warner Brothers and had actually done directing for them at an early age. She was something else, and she was our photography director. Yeah, that's why it's so gorgeous. And I decided on black and white because it worked out. That was perfect. Silver Angel looks good in color. This is so much better in black and white. So then these guys right here answered the ad, and I just can't remember their first names for some reason.
Well, while you're looking there, let me say, right, they fit the bill. It's interesting that she's both on camera and either the cinematographer or the director of photography, whichever way you had build it. But like they're within the 50s horror movies, right? Here's the young couple in their car together. So like they have that look like they're of the era.
Right.
And,
they are, the last name is Smith. Let's just put it that way. They're cousins, obviously kissing cousins. Anyway, we got all our actors because we ran that ad. All the actors were got because of the ad. And so they played these guys here. It was 20 years ago. Give me a break. I can't remember.
all right. So
But they were cousins, and they answered the ad, and they became the couple. In fact, there's a picture before this where they're out in the park, and he's talking about his monster magazines, and so he's looking at the famous monsters, and we got that on tape, and it was signed by Forey too, so I still have that famous monsters, but we even tied it in with a famous monster. Anyway, so they're out riding, and okay, this is great. They're out in the car and they're driving around, and she's going, "Ooh, did we pass the sewage plant? Something stinks." And he goes, "No, we didn't." And the creep pops up out of the back seat and hits him over the head with a club, and then the car goes out of control and runs into a telephone pole. And then after they hit the ride, she's screaming when she figures out what's going on. And they hit a telephone pole, and he gets out of the back, and says, "Stupid kids, we're ruining my day." They crash into the telephone pole because of him,
right.
And he's all mad at them. It's like,
right, not the smartest guy, the creep as he's creeping around. And at first I wasn't sure, again, did hitting the telephone pole result in their doom? but it did not. So
Well,
they were injured, but not fatally injured. There will be other, victims along the way that did meet their demise at the hands of the creep.
Yeah.
But at least at the
See,
start,
that's the whole thing too. Is it starts like not too bad, and then by the end,
there's a
it's just like
progression.
he's out of control, man. Well, we'll get there.
All right. So then here we're at the, police report comes in, and how did these two guys get attached, and what can you tell us about?
Again, they answered the ad, and Mel, there on the left, Mel Sparks, he had like theatrical training. They all, except for Joey Garza there on the right. Now get this. Now these people all lived in Bakersfield. Joey was the first Latino comedian on TV. He was on Carol Burnett's show. He was the very first one. But then, because of his actual life with his wife and everything, she just made it impossible. He lived in Bakersfield and had to go to Hollywood to film stuff. And it just got so confusing that he was doing other things besides acting. But he was a natural actor. He was a really good actor. And my good buddy, too. Very talented guy. But his son was a real problem. Kind of his family ruined his career. So that's too bad. And then he's had a couple of heart attacks since then. And I just abruptly left Bakersfield in July of last year. So I don't know what's happening to any of my friends anymore, except Daryl and a couple of other ones.
All right. So then within the story, these two guys become attached to the case, and they're trying to locate the creep and arrest him and bring him in.
Correct.
All right. And then, as you said, it's for roughly the hour of the movie, the creep makes his rounds. He gets around to plenty of people to victimize. So this was more of again, he doesn't do a break and enter on this here segment of the movie, but he's leering and looking in the window and being creepy in that kind of way.
Yeah. I figured that's part of a really creepy guy, so we had to throw that in there. That and the dog, there's just certain little things that just had to be put in there. Because, again, it's funny. You'll see in the next picture, his name's Eddie, by the way. The creep's name is actually Eddie.
Oh, all right.
Freaking, he doesn't get much,
Yeah.
And like I said, he's just like, he's a creep, I defined creep in every scene. Okay, creep, what does that mean?
Right. Every possible way to have him do a variety of creepy things. And again, within the movie without pushing it to
Right. And I really remember this night of shooting. It was really something else.
All right. So what stands out to you about shooting on that night?
That I was going to use this other woman, and she turned out to be, I'm telling you, and then there's another tie-in a little later here.
Thank God for Greg Carpenter, and thank God for Jim Campbell jumping in the comments section. Jim saying, looks like the singer from Question Mark and the Mysterios, and Jim is also saying creepy beatnik. All right, let me come back to...
See, we didn't have hippies when we were growing in high school. They were beatniks.
Yeah. All right, so this is where we left off, and then the next picture coming up is...
yeah. Okay. And my son destroyed the mask, which really got me upset here. But this is him on Halloween. He's following the kid. Kids would come to the door, and he'd get behind him on his knees, and the kids would get their candy, and then he'd be there on his knees and say, "Trick or treat, mister." And the guy says, "Look, you're too old for this." And so he gives him one. He throws him one. And Eddie says, What only one. And he starts walking away and he turns around and looks at him. And then he turns back around and kicks that pumpkin there and runs away. And the guy just looks at him.
Like a depraved kind of person, not even a prankster, but just somebody who's getting it all wrong. I want to add in that Lee Kid
Getting on his knees, acting like he's a kid. Like no one would notice. Oh, and then there's a great scene after this. I think it's in here. Oh, it's in here. Okay. My favorite scene.
I want to add in that Lee Kitch is in the comments saying that's the Mysterians. So
Hey, okay. Do you know that me and Gerald, we were in all these movies and we had a stage name. And my friend Tom told me one time this really cool thing. If you want a stage name, start with your middle name and use your mom's maiden name.
Okay.
So I was William Rossiter. He is Lee Kitch because his mom's name was Kitch and his middle name is Lee. So that's him.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So he's checking in. Thank you, buddy. Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Yes, Mysterians.
All right, so here's your next picture. Right, so this is again within the story. This is the Halloween night. I don't even want to say hijinks because hijinks is playful sounding. But here's a Dracula kid costume, a witch kid costume, and here comes one of the lowest grade moves that a creepy creep could perpetrate.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the girl there is Daryl's daughter Ray, and the boy is Rodney's son, and I can't remember his name. But anyway, so they're playing the kids, and they're all out there by themselves walking around right after he had kicked that pumpkin, which was, according to Daryl, a gourd. It was either a watermelon or a gourd. It was not a pumpkin because we filmed at a different, like in the summer. So but anyway, okay, so they've got their bags of candy, and the creep jumps out he sees them walking, and he jumps out in front of them and says, hey, monster kids, you guys getting a lot of candy? And they said, well, we're doing okay. And he goes, well, that's pretty good because I hardly got nothing. And he's like crying and showing them, and they're like, oh, that's too bad, mister. And he goes, oh, by the way, could I see what a lot of candy looks like? And so they open their bags and he grabs them and runs.
So again, keeping with the theme of the behind the scenes, in current day, these are people who are now grown, but in the year 2001, they're kid actors jumping into this independent picture. Like, what kind of preparation did you have to do with them? Or I'm assuming they weren't too scared of.
We had lots of assistants. Again, people answered that ad. It was crazy. We got everyone we needed. We had a couple of sisters that would just take care of everything, makeup. They were, one of them had done a lot of drama, and we'll see her in a later picture. But they were so helpful. They were my secretaries. They did everything. And then the cousins, they did all the promo work. They went and had things made and just promo. They did promo when they weren't being filmed.
We're getting another Lee saying my daughter is now the mother of 4.
Oh, I thought it was only 3.
Well,
sorry, buddy.
Time to get caught up there.
I can't keep up with people.
No kidding. All right. So again, were there a good amount of practicing the lines or doing the
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, that night was kind of a nightmare in its own way. Oh my God, this is a good story here. Okay, So we had to. They had to film. The director had. We had to film something else that dealt with an older person with a car. I don't know why, but we had to do that one first before he did the kids. And so the kids sat around for like 7 hours waiting to be shot.
That's a lot.
And Daryl, we're talking 3 a.m. And Daryl was, oh my God, he was livid. He was ready to like punch Mark in the face. He really was, man. He was so angry that, you know, the kids didn't get done with their scenes till 3 or 4 a.m, you know. So, as any good father would be, you want to beat the crap out of Mark. And Mark would just like, it's like, man, don't you understand shit, man? Come on. Anyway, that was part of the fun we had with the director. He was something. Oh, just a real quickie about the director. When we were editing it down and we had to do a composite shot, and so he's showing me it, and I'm going, Mark, what the crap? What is that? And he had put something up for the moon. Okay, we're going to make a moon shot. I think it was for the back of the DVD. As a freaking rock. And I'm going, Mark, what? And he goes, well, I didn't think anybody'd ever notice. It's like, Lord help me. Lord, help me. What are you talking about? Well, I thought it just looked, nobody would ever notice it wasn't the moon. It's like,
oh boy.
This is not what I want for a director, but anyway, no, he did okay. All but right. He would just pull stuff like that. It's like, what?
All right, well, next.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
So
look at that nice car we got. We were able to use for this shot. Is that nice?
That's magnificent. Is that? Do you know the year and for it and all that stuff?
It was 63 or 64 T-Bird.
Yeah.
The really beautiful one. I think it was 63 is what it was. But there was one year that was just the best, and we got that, and a white one too. Okay, the girl there on the left is one of my assistants that I was telling you about, the sisters. So she got to make out with this model. We got him. He was a pretty good actor too, but he was just a good-looking guy, you know. And the creep comes up behind him and hits him in the head with a club. So, because everything, she's telling him, "Hey, there's a psycho loose," and he's like, "Well, maybe we should get out of here or something." That creep comes up. He goes, "Well, where do you want to go?" And the creep pops in and goes, "You're going to outer space, buddy." And hits him in the head with a club.
Yeah.
Where should we go? You're going to outer space. Anyway, that was filmed on the bluffs overlooking, right on the edge of Bakersfield. And then there's these big bluffs, and then in the background it's all oil derricks and stuff. So it was, and you know, that's another thing. We didn't use day for night ever. It was all at night. We had some really good lights back then. But anyway.
Okay, so up next, talking about lights and shadows.
Oh, yeah. I thought it'd be funny if he's so demented that if he saw his shadow that he started fighting it. I don't know. I just was trying to write creepy stuff, and it really is pretty funny. But anyway, what's more important is the night that we filmed that. That was one of our first nights that weren't outside the field, because we did a lot of field stuff out in the fields, the alkali fields. At first, that's just where we felt comfortable, so we were out there. And so we go to this place here, and we're filming this part here, and then there's another where the the sister's brother comes through in the creep at the beginning. It's in the trailer. He's just walking by him and he goes, boo, you know, he tries to scare him. And anyway. So we're sitting there filming and people start people, just regular people start standing around watching us and stuff. And one guy came by and yelled at us, you know, because it was kind of a Mexican territory or something over on, what was it? Some highway. I can't remember. Some old highway there. And yelling at us, hey, get out of our hood or something like that.
Yeah.
You better get out of here. And then like guys driving by threatening us. I swear to God.
Oh boy.
And there was other times when we filmed in one place that the police came by and said, you shouldn't be out here at 3 a.m. You know, people get killed around here. And we're going, oh, that's great, you know. And then they took off. So we finished filming and left and nothing ever happened. That was a really good scene. That was a great scene. But anyway, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We're already here, huh? We missed him stabbing the guy in the chest that broke his radio. So he stabbed him in the chest with that. That's an ice pick there, okay?
Oh yeah.
And that was a pretty fun scene to film. But we're showing he dies later that night, and you can see it's building up to something, and he's really distressed that night. He's just like, he's walking around in circles. Should I go home? Should I kill more people? I don't know. So he finally decides to go home after he kills this guy.
You know, it's that decision that people make every night. Should I go back home or should I go out and complete more killings? That's the way of it.
Oh,
and I should go ahead. I should bring up that Lee was saying before. I think you're saying, Lee, you can't park a car there anymore where you had.
Right, he knows
at the top of the bluffs. He
leaves the house, so he knows this stuff. But yeah, that's true. You can't even park a car there anymore. It's just, they closed it down completely.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a great scene. He's walking back. He's leaving the guy he just killed, and he's going back to his lair. And we had a fog machine. So guess what? We're using it. See, it made him stand out better anyway. I don't know where the fog's coming from, but who cares? But it's a great scene. It's a great scene.
And I had mentioned that in my previous go around when I reviewed the movie, just some of the fog work or the use of the fog for the background really contributed in a great way to the atmosphere of the shot and the scene.
Yes, it really did. It's beautifully shot. That's all I can say because of Karen. Okay. I mean, she was a director so they catch, Mel and Joey catch the creep going back to his lair. But he reaches in his pocket, okay, and Mel there has, tell him, okay, put your hands up, do this, that, and the other thing, and he puts his hands in his pocket and put your hands in the air. And so he does, and he's got a rock in each hand. Don't ask me how he does this. But he throws both of them and hits Mel with them, giving him time to run away. And oh my God, Joey almost said he almost had a heart attack. Mark had him out running for like an hour because there's all kinds of running scenes in this. And because Joey was, over his probably 50 something at that time. And like I said, he ended up having a couple of heart attacks. He actually lives in China now.
Oh my gosh. That I
didn't believe that. He's got a Chinese girlfriend and, he's got a visa. Anyway, who knows? I haven't seen him in a year, so I don't know what's going But anyway, they've chased him into town now, and the creep was hiding, and he finally runs out of his hiding place, and Joey and Mel are there, tell him to stop, we're going to shoot. And then the creep runs into the street trying to get away from him. And he runs out in the street, and then he turns around, and lo and behold, he gets run over by an ice cream truck at 3 a.m.
Man, with the just desserts, I suppose you were going for a symbolism in it being an ice cream truck. So, I mean, clearly this wasn't.
I had a different truck picked out, but again, Greg Carpenter, our assistant director, this is all I could get. It cost us like $60, for him to do it, but we got some free ice cream.
That's a good bonus and benefit to have. So
Okay.
I'm going to figure you didn't have Jackie Chan or somebody as a stunt coordinator on the picture. So we're looking at this as just a very entry level stunt work. So is this, we got a dummy in the creep suit here for the actual
yeah. And I was putting these pictures together, and we're going to see the dummy here. I have some behind the scenes stuff we're going to look at after this shot here, but that is a dummy. But I was wondering, how the hell did we get his jacket on him? I have no idea how we got the jacket on it. Don't know how. It's how did we get the jacket on him? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the climax. He gets run over, and it looks pretty good too when it hits him. We had to put dust on the jacket so that when it hit him, dust flew.
Sure. Now, was this a one take setup, or were repeated takes needed to get the look the way you wanted it?
Just little touches like that, and let's put a little dirt on it so you can see, like, show you how dirty his jacket was.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a couple of decapitated heads earlier too that some kids find. That's how the cops finally track him down. They tell on him.
Right from inside of his lair.
Great climax. I mean, it could not be more exciting, honestly.
Yeah. All right, now, so we're switching from black and white to color here for the next picture to come up. So here's
okay. Now this is all behind the scenes stuff from now on. Okay, that's me. They're on the right, talking to Forey before we shot his parts, and I just had it written down on a sheet of paper. Oh, that's right. The dummy was only as good for one take, and we nailed it.
Thank you, Lee, for resolving that mystery. That's definitely good to know. So you had notes walking in beforehand that you brought?
Yeah, I just had his script, his text written down, what he was supposed to say, and he goes, "Gary, I can't read off this. You're gonna have to make me some big signs in the background so I can look at it." So we had to run down to the art store and get some big sheets of paper, and I had to write all the script down on those big things and hold them up for him while he read them.
So you were holding up the poster board yourself?
Correct.
In the role of writer and production assistant and jack of all trades.
I want to do everything. I want to be as helpful as I can, Heck, well, see, the thing is, nobody ever really got paid for anything. We could only afford the equipment.
Right.
But, yeah, that's before we shot him there. And there's Bela. And he was wearing the ring. You see, you can see the ring on his hand there. That was actually Dracula's real ring. He's wearing his real, Forey was he was great, man.
Yeah, and Lee's jumping in comments saying, growing up, FJA, Forrest J. Ackerman, was our hero. So this is really cool for us. So absolutely, right. This is like, legendary people from the golden age of a thing. So this, I mean, this is comparable to meeting just, in any
It
other
was,
thing, like the top person or the top
it
people.
was the best part of the movie. It really was. And it's like Forey always said that he wanted to get 100 credits for being in movies, and I think we were like 103.
Oh,
So
all
I
right.
was able to do it. Yeah.
And this
Oh,
is,
oh yeah. Oh, you can find the Forrest if you check out IMDb. Forey Ackerman, the creep is listed there.
excellent. Excellent. And so this is his actual house.
Yes, this is the Acker Mansion.
Ackerman.
One of many, many rooms. This is his little lounge room or something.
Man, I'm just soaking it all in, right? He's got pants on and looks like a
I know he's got
kangaroo,
shoes.
comfortable, and it's a Dracula bust right next to him.
Right? And wearing the Dracula ring and the cape, the original ones. And he played Dr. Acula, by the way.
Right. His character name, Dr. period for doctor, capital A for Acula, Dr. Acula.
Correct.
All right. Can you tell us anything else about what else we're looking
Hey,
at? Is that a book behind the Dracula bust? Is that
I'm not sure. One thing that not everybody knows is that Forey coined the phrase sci-fi.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah, he coined it. If you look it up, you'll find out that he coined that phrase. Out listening to the radio, hi-fi, and sci-fi, and then I did I tell you that? No, I don't know. One of a famous writer, Harlan Ellison, hated Forey because
Oh my gosh.
sci-fi was an abbreviated term for science fiction, and he thought that he had just cheapened it by doing sci-fi. It was just, that's like,
Oh.
that's not legitimate. It's science fiction. It's got to be the whole. Yeah, Harlan Ellison did not like Forey because he coined the phrase sci-fi and it cheapened the word science fiction. Oh, yeah.
From the way Ellison saw it, from Ellison's side of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, here's Forey again, and who's this with him?
That is our assistant director, Greg Carpenter. That is the man himself, and you'll see why. He's from Texas, but what a guy. He's also in The Creep, too. He plays a policeman in The Creep. But he was by far the most important person for this shoot. I'm serious.
Great.
And we just could not have got luckier than him.
And then,
So,
go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
Off to the side, I see a side profile of Frankenstein that looks a lot like your drawing of Frankenstein that you've shown.
That's pretty close to where that came from, yeah. Because I did get it out of a Famous Monsters.
Man, that's good to tie those pieces together.
That was my, that's what I used for everything whenever I was drawing.
All right. Lee has a lengthier comment here this time. Ackerman's home was like horror sci-fi museum. He opened up to the public free of charge to visit on certain Sundays. That's an act of generosity. I wish I could have seen that firsthand. Also, that would have to be really amazing. It makes me think a little bit like currently that the Guillermo del Toro, I forget the name he has for his, but there's so many statues and pieces in there that
right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, again, this is legendary stuff that you guys were in the home of Forrest J. Ackerman. That is so priceless.
I was also okay. I'm sorry it's so crappy looking, but what are you gonna do? Internet. He was first of all him and his buddies were in America's Got Talent, I think, and then he got his own show from that. He was called Dr. Danger, and he would do crashes and explosions. And like I said, he had his own show on TV, on cable, blowing himself up. And that's gonna take a toll on you. I'm sorry. They showed some pictures of him after the explosion, and he looked like, I think I put a little too much TNT in there.
Oh boy.
But what a hell of a guy, man. Big guy too.
All right. Next up.
Couldn't have got more lucky than him. Yeah, to show you too that, I showed you that T-Bird earlier. We also had this like 56 Chrysler. It was the cop car because we were being retro.
And the condition of it is amazing.
That is such a beautiful car. But I think this is the reason that Daryl's Lee's kids daughters had to stay up late because of this car.
Oh, okay.
He could only film it at a certain time, and then the kids could do it. Anyway, it was a mess. Boy, Daryl was upset. I'll tell you. Mark's lucky to be alive.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, there's a cow there on the left. Of course, it was cold that night for some reason. And then all the way on the right there, that's Charlie Del Rio. That's Mark's dad. And it's going to eventually Karen's father-in-law. Testing the sound. Oh, there's the doggy. This is right before the doggy gets killed. Now see the guy in the middle? That's Silver Angel. That's a guy who turned out to be, he was in 1979, he was a kickboxing champion.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And so that's how he got the part in Silver Angel. And he was perfect. Oh, and well, anyway, we're going to do Silver Angel here next. Behind the scenes, can't really show the movie yet. But anyway, it was so much fun. I'm just telling you, it just was really kicked. But I've got some nightmare stories, but we'll save that for another time.
We'll save that for another time. Now, I see the chair, like the plastic lawn chair there, has a bunch of different numbers on it: 1921, 58, 54, 60.
I think those must be stickers or something. Yeah, okay, I can see they're over on the right-hand side. The 2 is upside down, and you can see a little edge of it. It had to do with scenes, or I don't know. See, there's even a monitor there. That's just for them to keep things in order. Ooh.
All right, so Jim Campbell is saying it seems people prefer natural practical effects to CGI. Why isn't there more practical effects?
Yeah, don't get me going. Don't get me going.
You'll just agree and we'll move on.
Totally agree. Oh my God, do I totally agree. There he is.
So this is the dummy that got hit by the ice cream truck.
Yeah, now you tell me how you can get a jacket on that thing.
I don't
know. How did we? Maybe we cut the jacket in half. I don't know,
maybe
man.
you cut the jacket, or maybe down the sleeves you put some slits. Maybe, I mean, this looks like
I swear, I don't know. It's that simple.
So is there just?
I'll figure it out.
Like packaging tape wrapped around more packaging tape? How did we get this?
Okay, it was the bubble wrap wrapped with packaging tape. Man. And it looks great. it doesn't look so great right there, but in the movie it does.
Yeah.
And like Daryl said, there was only one take, so the dummy would have we'd have to take it back and work on it for another 10 hours to get it back in shape. I think it was the last thing that we shot. I think it was the very last thing.
The very last thing shot. And saying that as we come to the last of our photos. So who are these people with their 7-Eleven and their Dr. Pepper run that we're looking
Okay.
at?
That's okay. Matt, and I don't know why I can't remember her name. That's Matt. Those are the cousins. And Mark put the people's names in a font that you can't read. What the hell? Jennifer and Matt. They're the cousins. And I'm signing something. I'm probably signing a check so they can go do some promotion work. And then I'm almost positive that that's Jennifer's mom on next to her there.
Okay.
But at least and that room that they're in ended up being the hospital where Jennifer ended up, and the cops interviewed her. But I'm just acting like I'm the boss or something. I don't know. I did have to give them checks and stuff, though.
Right. Somebody's got to keep the
it must be that
wheel spinning.
Anyway, that's the last one, isn't it?
That is the last one. So let me come back and pull that out of the way. So, Gary, again, let's just do a little bit of from the links you had sent me before. Let me just get a little bit. So if people are looking for Gary Ray business here, we can look at right here on Etsy. Let me just get on your Etsy on the screen a little bit here. So here's Gary Ray Originals. And now let me jump back to where I can navigate the Etsy screen here. So right there's your stuff at all different.
That's what you're showing there. Okay, the first thing is a tiki, but the other ones are my original artwork from the past that I'm selling there also.
Yeah. And again, as we said before, you use a variety of media, a variety of influences and styles. And people who are interested in getting connected with your stuff, it's all.
Yeah, there's prints there too. There's some prints there too.
Yeah. And then also the other link you sent me, let me jump back around here again as I'm flipping the screens, the Amazon link you sent me. So here is books at a very, very affordable price. So Other Worlds,
there are 5.
Comic art, sci-fi horror paintings by you, bizarre and creepy sculptures, 100 pages of nightmarish things, mysterious artwork of Gary Ray, and unfortunate comic tales of sci-fi and horror.
That was with my collaborator friend Brian Rydell. Oh, and tell them that they can, if you want to creep, you can get them on eBay. My username is Bongo52.
Bongo52 on eBay. After we're done here, I'll try to get the specific link and make that available if people want to have their own DVD copy of the Creep. Now, Gary, let me just ask, I assume it's not available for digital download. It's only
not
for
yet.
sale in the time-tested DVD format.
We have some setup to do. I have a lot of stuff in the future going on, but it ain't happening yet.
All things in their time. All right. Well, Gary, again, I appreciate that. I appreciate we connected the first time and then the second time. And now here again, I continue to look forward to your postings on Reddit, where you cycle around again and show across your decades of drawing and painting. Your artwork can be seen on Reddit also. Do you have any closing thoughts for us, Gary, before we wrap this one up for tonight?
No, I'm just, we're going to do Silver Angel next, and that'll be a hoot. And that's where me and Daryl play robots. So you can't miss that one. And we get beat up by Alan Tackett, the kickboxing champ. He's the star of Silver Angel. And I just want to thank my friend Daryl for chiming in. Buddy, that means a lot to me. Thanks a lot. I really, really appreciate it. So,
And just to be clear, Daryl was appearing under the screen name of Lee here. Daryl and Lee are the same.
Lee Kitch, yes.
Okay.
Because, and then I'm William Rossiter. Those are ours. If you watch The Creep, I think that, well, in Silver Angel, I know that we got that, but I think it's also, we have little parts in The Creep too. And I think we use our stage names, William Rossiter and Lee Kitch.
All right. Well, as I close us out, then appreciation to Daryl, to Lee for jumping in and contributing. Appreciation
Thanks,
to
buddy.
the longstanding contributor to the community here, Jim Campbell. This has been
Yes.
behind
Thank
the
you, Jim.
scenes dive into the 2001 independently produced horror comedy, The Creep. Gary, thanks for coming around. We got one last comment. Let me pop the comment up on the screen. Lee says thanks also. Lee has confirmed it was Jennifer. And absolutely. Oh, Nanette. Well, Nanette, thanks for coming around. All the same, we are just closing out, Nanette.
Well,
But
just watch it now. Or,
yeah. All right. I'm closing us out. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back again with more good stuff coming around. And
Thanks,
we
Chris.
are out.